Thanks for tuning in to leftcoastnews.net, news and information from the wacky, sometimes communist, liberal west coast of the United States. For more, visit leftcoastnews.net. Well, the first of many planned protests in the Northwest happened today, the 18th of January, in Olympia. The People's March was followed by festivals of resistance. It started in Heritage Park, where the protesters gathered and listened to 5 different speakers. One, a recording speaking from a jail cell. They spoke about the environment, immigrant rights, a free Palestine, human rights, and fighting against the billionaires who run the country. There were people from many different activist groups in the region: Palestine Action South Sound, La Resistencia, PSL, TSA, Bloc, ANTIFA, and Anti-Imperialist Action South Sound. These speakers spoke for about an hour and a half, and then the crowd moved onto 4th Avenue and marched up to Capitol Boulevard, and then on to the Capitol steps. When the group got into downtown, ANTIFA members broke off and began tagging buildings and breaking businesses' glass windows and doors. At one point, they had a lit flare but didn't seem to do anything with it. They used black umbrellas to cover the people doing the damage, which they often do as counter-surveillance. They were also all wearing black and full face masks. Law enforcement was aware this was happening but took no action. The ANTIFA group then merged back into the march and continued onto the steps of the Capitol, where they listened to 2 more speakers. After the march, they had another gathering called the Festivals of Resistance, where they served food, vegan chili, and had discussions about how to deal with the next 4 years under President Trump. A time to network and prepare to take collective action, they said. I still don't understand the concept of attacking businesses, especially small businesses, and how that is supposed to garner support for your cause. Most of all, these groups are funded by the very billionaires, specifically George Soros, that they claim to be so against. Some of the propaganda they were passing out, completely Soviet and similar to the top, at large stated their demands. Down at the U.S. border, all U.S. soldiers were ordered and abroad. Shut down all detention centers. Full citizenship rights for all immigrants. La Migra is immigration. Out of our workplaces, schools, and neighborhoods. Halt all deportations. Defend immigrants' rights to unionize and strike. Not a single dollar or hour of labor to imperialist crimes and war profiteers. Refuse to handle war material and hot cargo. Place the universities under total student and staff control. Just imagine what they'd be like then. They're bad enough now. Redistribute all imperialist wealth back to the working class and oppressed. And by working class, that means you have to actually work. Abolish student debt and tuition-based enrollment. Uphold the right to self-determination for all indigenous nations, including wars of secession from the U.S. government. Let First Nations, natives, expropriate all U.S. extractivist, this isn't even a word, industries running through their territory, like mines and things like that. Down with the Neo-Confederacy. Uphold black self-determination. Okay. Abolition through socialist revolution. Finish the Floyd rebellions. Halt all law enforcement of public art and graffiti. Only the working class and oppressed can decide what remains in their city. Again, working class, that means go to work, which most of them do not. Open all police archives. Free Luigi and all political prisoners. Let popular opinion prevail. No convictions for acts of popular self-defense. Free quality health care at the point of service. If they come for anyone's health care, they come for all our health care. Defend women's right to health care and trans people's right to exist. Free abortion and gender-affirming care on demand. These are communists calling for a revolution against the U.S. government, against the Constitution, against freedom they claim to be fighting for. You only need to look at history to see the way of communism. Oh, they claim this communism will be different, but we know that isn't true. Communism is communism. It's oppressive. It keeps people poor and under the thumb of authority. All people. No borders. No deportations. No detention centers. Free Luigi. He's a political prisoner. He is a killer. How about all the other violent criminals? They get a pass? Popular self-defense, whatever that is, no convictions. So you get a pass if you think majority someone should be dead. Is this the purge? Graffiti is art. Finish the George Floyd rebellions. Why? We need to burn down more cities. What does this accomplish? Who says trans people don't exist? We all know they exist. We just don't need all their business being forced down our throats or into women's sports. Do these demands sound like those of a rational person or more like your crazy uncle at the insane asylum? You can't live in anarchy. There has to be some governing body, not just the people. Look around you. There's a lot of nuts running around. They should be calling the shots. You have to use your common sense. Government is necessary, although I believe it should be very small and minimalist. Government has become bloated and overreaching and far beyond the scope of what it was ever meant to be. Government needs to be reimagined under the guise of the Constitution. Much of it should be eliminated, but this is not the answer. Revolution, maybe. But socialism, communism, and anarchy, that is not the answer. Unfortunately, the Northwest is full of these communist, socialist, and anarchist groups, and the political climate seems to be ripe for them to expand. With Trump coming into office and our own state government talking about ways to keep him in line, you can expect the rhetoric from these groups to ramp up during the next 4 years. And there's more of these protests to come, scheduled for Inauguration Day, Seattle and Tacoma. Seattle's going to have some big ones, so get ready. Thanks for listening to Left Coast News. For more, visit leftcoastnews.net. Please subscribe, like, and share to your social media. We appreciate your support.